Happy Friday, I'm Francie and this is Chris. Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Crime. Today we're going to be making a Japanese style cheesecake that we're serving with some fresh strawberries, and we also have a really yummy, easy to make coffee jelly recipe. So
yay!
We're making dessert today, which will be good.
It'll be really good. So we're actually going to be talking about Kiyoshi Okubo, a Japanese serial killer. So he was actually born January 17, 1935. You guessed it, a Capricorn. So he was born in Takashi, Gunma Prefecture. Span of crimes were actually during 41 days. He killed 8 victims during that period of time. So from March 31st, 1971 to May 10th, 1971, he raped and murdered those 8 women, ages 16 to 21. During Kiyoshi's lifetime, he accosted more than 127 women, which is so crazy. It's insane. Like, how do you accost that many women? Isn't it ridiculous? Kiyoshi was a quarter Russian. His mother was half Russian. That's where he got his Russian from. And she was a very doting mother, it states. He was persecuted by the surroundings in his childhood due to his Western appearance. So because he looked a bit Russian, kids were just relentless on him.
That's sad.
Yeah.
He rapes 2 women before he begins murdering. He raped a woman on July 12th of 1955. He attempted to rape another woman but was unsuccessful on December 26th of 1955. He was arrested and put in jail and then released on December 15th, 1959. He was known as the Watanabe Kiyoshi, which was a fake name that he was using. On April 16th of 1960, he attempts to rape another woman but was unsuccessful again, thank God. And on May 5th of 1961, he married a woman and has a son and daughter.
It's crazy that he could rape all these women and not be more condemned. That is just he keeps doing it.
Yeah.
It's nonstop.
After these 2 attacks.
Yeah, and even the non-attack, the attempted attack, that's should have been giving the cops a clue. Hey, this guy's still going to go and do this.
Yeah, several attempted attacks, 2 rapes.
And I wonder how did he win over a wife? That's insane. So so what you doing in there?
I just have started with just the egg whites. We have egg yolks. Sorry, we have 8 egg yolks in here.
Tongue twister much?
Right. And I just whisked them until they were combined together, and then we're going to move on to our stovetop where we're going to be melting butter, milk,
cream cheese,
and cream cheese.
Yeah. Just melting the cream cheese, butter, and milk together. Perfect. So we've let the cream cheese, milk, and butter cool, and now we're just adding it to the 8 egg yolks. And then we're just gonna whisk it together.
Make sure we get it all.
Perfect. Just mix. And then we'll move to our next portion. Perfect. So we are doing a 1/4 cup of cornstarch and a 1/4 cup of flour, and we're sifting it into the egg yolk mixture. And then we'll be mixing that up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Shift, shift, shift. Okay, perfect. Okay, we'll be blending the egg whites till soft. So we'll be folding in egg whites into the egg yolk mixture, 1/4 at a time, and fold it in. And then we'll add another one soon, folding it in. It's very delicate. Okay, while Fran's putting in the egg whites mixture into the egg yolk mixture, we'll talk a little bit about Kiyoshi. He threatened a man on June 3rd, 1965, and then raped 2 women on December 23rd, 1966, and February 24th. On June 7th, 1967, he went to prison as he was caught. After releasement on March 3rd, 1971, he lured and had sex with 8 women and killed them. Is that crazy?
That is so crazy.
After all this, he's gone and arrested again and again, and yet he's still allowed in public. I don't understand this.
The law. It's not doing justice.
Not at all. So Fran's just sticking the last of the egg whites. So Fran is just sticking in the last of the egg whites into the egg yolk mixture. Look at that. It looks so good and creamy. So we'll talk about the 8 victims that Kiyoshi killed and raped. So the first one is Miyaku Suda, 17-year-old, on March 31st, 1971. The second one is Miko Okiwa, 17-year-old, on April 6, 1971. Chieko Ida, 19 years old, on April 17, 1971. Sieko Kawabata, 17-year-old, on April 18, 1971. Akimi Sato, 16-year-old, on April 27, 1971. The sixth victim was Kazuyo Kawaha, 18-year-old, May 3rd, 1971. Number 7 was Riko Takamura, 21-year-old, May 9th, 1971. And the last victim that he murdered was Nyako Takanohashi, the 21-year-old, May 10th, 1971. So sad, these poor ladies. Okay, so we've added 2 inches of hot boiling water to our cake mixture on the bottom of it. The reason why we're doing that is to redistribute the heat properly and make sure the cake cooks evenly. So we'll be cooking this in the oven at 320 for about 25 minutes, and then lowering the heat a little bit, and then another 55 minutes. We're taking a break from making the cake.
Our cheesecake's in the oven. We're gonna move on to our coffee jelly.
Coffee jelly. So right now we did 2 packs of the gelatin from Knox.
Yeah.
And so we're just adding water to it, just regular temperature, room temperature water. And you're gonna mix it up. And then we're gonna make sure there's no clumps. And perfect. So in this bowl, I've already put in 3.5 cups of hot boiling water and coffee mixture. So I'm just mixing it up. And then I'll be adding sugar right away just to make sure it's to the flavor that we like. And we'll mixing it together. And that's honestly it.
Super easy.
Super easy.
Really easy.
Yeah. So I'll see what the taste is. Let's add some sugar. How much sugar do you want? Like quite a bit. What do you usually put for a cup of coffee?
Probably 1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon? Teaspoon or tablespoon?
I think a tablespoon would be a lot. I don't know. I haven't made this before.
I'll do.
Plus the whipped cream goes on top. So.
Yeah. A teaspoon. I'll do half a teaspoon.
Do 2 tablespoons for the 4 cups.
2 tablespoons?
Yeah.
Okay. That should be good.
Because it's espresso.
Perfect. We'll do.
I'll be out.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you so much. Of course.
So I love coffee jelly. It's like the best.
That's not me. I love coffee, so anything coffee for me is number 1. That's good enough.
Perfect. I'll try it. Well, we can taste it right now and see what we like. See if you like it. Is it almost done? Or yours is done?
What are we waiting for with this?
Just want to make sure that the mixture complete, but there's no chunks in it, and then we'll mix it all together. Okay, so you tell me. More sugar?
I think that's good because we're gonna put whipped cream, but it's.
So we'll mix the 2 together. Oh yeah, that's totally.
Add our gelatin in.
I barely put sugar in it. Honestly, I like it.
This is going in.
Yep. Perfect.
Nice and smooth.
Yeah. So you can use the gelatin to make like Jello shots. Pretty much, there's so many different recipes for this. You said you made it in nose strips.
I made pork
cleansing strips with. That's pretty cool.
And that was neat.
Yeah, it is very different. So then we'll take those 2 containers, we'll pour in the mixture, and then we'll leave it in the fridge for 6 hours. And then that's it. Yeah. You can use ice cube trays to put it in there, and then that way you pop it out like.
That's a good
idea. I've seen people do so many different things in it.
That's a really good idea. I'm gonna get us a ladle.
Oh, you didn't want to just pour it in?
Because it's really hot.
Yeah, it's true.
To ladle in.
True. Hold on, I just want to make sure
it's all mixed in good.
Exactly. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is gonna be so. And like when you use a flat container, like you can cut them into little cute cubes and whatever shapes you want.
Nice.
And you can also add a little bit of condensed milk after, once this is jellifies, with the whipped cream. So it just adds that extra creamy flavor.
God, that would be amazing.
Yeah, you can make it into a little dessert drink, that's for sure. It's so delicious.
Yum.
I can't believe it's not a huge popular thing in Canada, but maybe sooner enough it will be.
Yeah.
Bubble teas weren't, and then now they are, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we made a batch last night and we just put it in our bowls now, and we're just gonna add some toppings to it.
Messy.
That went everywhere.
Right?
Oh, and then we just sprinkle a little bit of cocoa powder. It looks amazing.
That was so easy.
Okay, let's try this. I got the cocoa powder stuck in my throat. So good. What do you think? You like it?
It's really good. It's really light.
And you could
So
modify
something
it.
that's not too heavy. This is really good.
And you could add as much sugar as you want. Like obviously you can change it to
Or sweetener.
Or sweetener. Yeah. Or none, right? Like if you just like the taste of coffee, then.
Yes, and then the whipped cream has some sugar already.
You definitely can't wait to have the next batch, eh?
What else did you mention?
For
What else can
condensed
you
milk.
put? I feel
Condensed
like that
milk would be really good.
so good. It's like a Vietnamese coffee in a bowl, basically.
So Japanese mixed with Vietnamese. There you go. So
I
good.
like it a lot.
So we came back, finished the cheesecake, powdered some powdered
Just
sugar.
some powdered sugar on it. So we have gone ahead and cut into it, but it looks so good.
And we
So
plated
good.
it. It looks
Fluffy.
amazing.
So going back to our crime
Kiyoshi.
story, Kiyoshi, yeah. On May 13th, a 21-year-old went missing and her brother traced her. He found Okubo and the police finally arrested him on May 14th. The district court in
Mibashi. Yeah.
The district court in Mibashi sentenced him to death by hanging on February 22nd of 1973. He didn't appeal, and he was executed on January 22nd of 1976 by hanging. He was quoted saying, "I became the brute I am because of the police during their investigations. Previous two cases in which he were involved, they treated me very badly, and the punishment was dealt out in a way that completely destroyed my humanity."
It made me rebel against authority. So his last words, "If I could be reborn, I would like to as a weed. I was told by a woman once I knew that no matter how much weeds are treaded upon, they would snap back. And that's the kind of existence I would like to have in the next life." Which is pretty crazy because obviously he raped and murdered so many women and he was still wanting to do it over and over again, even when he was about to get hung.
Creep.
It was crazy.
Well, we're gonna dig into this cheesecake.
Catch you guys next week.
Thanks for joining. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.